Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're doing something a little different. We're putting a single sentence under the microscope. Now this isn't just any sentence, it's a powerful verse from the Qur'an. Our goal here is a complete forensic breakdown. We're going to dissect its historical context, its linguistic nuances, and the really profound theological weight it carries. So yeah, prepare for a deep dive.
Okay, let's get started. This scholarly text right here is going to be our roadmap. We'll be using its insights to deconstruct all the layers of meaning in this divine message that was sent to Moses' mother. And believe me, it's a message with some pretty profound linguistic, theological, and emotional depth.
To do this right, we're going to move through 6 distinct stages. We'll kick things off by setting the historical scene, then we'll get into the weeds of the specific language used. From there, we'll tackle the verse's central paradox, unpack the incredible divine promise it contains, see how it echoes in other prophetic stories, and then wrap it all up by putting together the profound wisdom packed inside.
All right, let's begin with section 1. To really feel the power of this verse, you have to transport yourself back in time, into a world gripped by fear. We need to understand the oppressive, terrifying atmosphere that surrounded the birth of Moses.
You see, the historical context is everything. You've got Pharaoh, this tyrannical ruler of Egypt, who is absolutely haunted by a prophecy. A prophecy that said a boy from the Israelites would rise up and challenge his entire kingdom. His reaction? It was swift and it was merciless. A decree to murder all newborn Israelite boys. Just try to imagine the sheer terror that must have gripped every single family.
So it's right into this nightmare scenario, at this absolute peak of desperation, that this divine message arrives. And look at the structure here. It's just a single sentence, but it contains a command, a prohibition against fear and grief, and an absolutely incredible multi-layered promise.
Now, let's really zoom in. We're going to focus on the very first word of the verse, al-hayna, because the nature of this communication, well, that's the key that unlocks this entire event. So the verse starts with, and we inspired. But you have to ask, what does that word, inspiration, or wahi, actually mean here? I mean, in this specific context. Is this the same kind of revelation that a full-fledged prophet receives, or is it something different? And our source text is completely explicit about this. This was not some legislative prophetic revelation that was going to make her a prophetess. Nope. Instead, it was a direct, heart-assuring inspiration from God. Think of it like a divine infusion of knowledge and certainty, designed specifically to guide her actions in that exact moment of crisis.
So, this special guidance leads us right to the central paradox of the verse, a command that seems to defy all human logic. And really, this is the ultimate test of faith. The instruction given to Moses' mother is a profound paradox. It's demanding 2 actions that, from any logical human perspective, are in total opposition to each other. This is a direct test of her trust. Is she going to follow the divine word or her own instincts and reason?
And this slide just perfectly illustrates that tension. On one hand, she's told, nurse him, the most natural, protective, life-giving thing a mother can do. But on the other hand, she's told, cast him into the river, an act that, to anyone watching, would look like certain death for the child. It's in order to find safety in the very heart of danger.
So how could she possibly obey a command like that? I mean, how could any mother do it? Well, the answer, the entire source of her incredible strength, is baked right into the second half of the verse. And that's what we're going to break down now.
You see, this impossible command is perfectly balanced by this powerful, beautifully structured promise. Our source really emphasizes this symmetry. First, you get 2 prohibitions, 2 don'ts that speak directly to her emotional state. Do not fear and do not grieve. And these are immediately followed by 2 rock-solid promises that secure not just his immediate return, but also his ultimate grand destiny as a messenger.
So here's the crucial part. The promise isn't just, we will return him. It's, indeed, we will return him to you. That emphasis on indeed signifies absolute 100% certainty. This wasn't a hope, it wasn't a possibility, it was a divine guarantee. And that certainty, that guarantee, was the anchor for her faith. It's what gave her this supernatural strength to let her child go.
Okay, now let's zoom out a bit, because this is not an isolated incident. The source text we're using reveals a really powerful connection to another major prophetic story, and it uncovers this recurring divine pattern.
This whole theme of a promised return to a grieving parent is not unique to this story.
Our source draws a direct and powerful parallel to the story of Prophet Joseph, who, as you might remember, was also taken from his father Jacob through the treachery of his brothers and literally cast into a well.
And the parallels here are just striking. In both stories, you've got this painful, forced separation. You have a divine promise. In Jacob's case, it was a vision that offers that glimmer of hope. Both parents have to endure a long, profound test of patience and faith. And in the end, both get to experience the joyous fulfillment of that promise, a reunion that totally vindicates their unwavering trust. This pattern isn't a coincidence. You could call it a theological signature. It suggests a consistent divine method for testing and ultimately rewarding profound faith.
All right, let's bring it all home in our final section. We're going to pull all of these analytical threads together so we can truly appreciate the incredible density of meaning that is packed into this one single elegant verse. So what our analysis has really uncovered is nothing short of a masterclass in divine communication. In just one breath, this verse addresses the immediate physical command needed for survival, it provides the direct emotional comfort needed to endure the trial, and it delivers a long-term prophecy about the child's future destiny and his role in history. It's incredible.
And these are the crucial points to take away from our forensic reading. First, that divine guidance, or YU, can be intensely personal and tailored to one person's crisis. Second, that true faith is often tested by asking you to do something that seems to defy all worldly logic. Third, that those absolute, certain divine promises are the mechanism that allows people to endure those impossible tests. And finally, that these prophetic stories aren't just isolated events. They're interconnected by these deep, recurring theological themes.
And that leaves us with a final thought to really chew on. Our forensic analysis of just a handful of Arabic words has revealed these intricate layers of law, emotion, history, and theology. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it, just how much meaning can be held within a single sentence. And it prompts us to consider the immense, almost infinite depth that's embedded in Scripture, just waiting to be carefully unpacked.